In today's video, we're talking about the death of online coaching.
By myself.
What's going on, guys? This is Paul Rebella from ProPhysique.com, and I have some very special guests with me. And they're going to be here this weekend for my camp. So why don't we introduce you guys?
If you know me from Instagram, my name is TheNattyPro. My real name is Ryan Doris, just in case you didn't know that.
And if you know me, Fitness IQ, do's and don'ts from Instagram.
In chat.
And what's your real name?
Oh, my real name is Jorge Rosado.
JorgeRosado. You gotta speak up to the mic. Yeah,
George or Jorge.
Let's hear that personality. You're getting all shy on me.
Man,
I know it's in there. So what's cool about spending time with these guys is we do so much of the same things. We're interested in the same things. That's kind of like why we're so close. I mean, I've known Ryan since 2009.
Yeah.
Woo, long time. And through bodybuilding, powerlifting, coaching, putting out content, just being a part of whatever you want to call fitness community now. That's what we're a part of. You can call it the evidence-based approach. You can call it flexible, whatever you want to call it. We are just interested in doing right by ourselves, the people around us, the people that we coach, the people that we mentor, right?
Yep.
So we just came up with a pretty cool topic, and I'm gonna give this video a pretty catchy title called The Death of Online Coaching.
Yeah, so this topic sort of came up because every time we get together, we instantly start group thinking and sharing what do we do well, I do this technique, well, I upload this video this way. And essentially we try to make online coaching from virtual to real reality as close as possible. So it's like, what tools do we use? And I realize the more we have these conversations, the more of these things we share, the word online is actually losing its place in a way.
I think that's really my goal as a coach, is to no longer be someone's online coach, but to just be their coach.
Right. Right. So historically, online coaching for a lot of you who aren't as old as Paul and I, right? Online coaching used to be a very at distance type of thing, and we really feel like that model is dying, at least in the successful coaches that we see nowadays. So, what would you say, in your opinion, is, I guess, the new birth of the new wave? Like, what things are included in this new style of online coaching, and what is dying about that old style of online coaching?
I think the ability for instant videos,
right?
Like with my coaching technique, if I can see someone perform a lift, I'm sure with the power lifters you're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Watching them perform a lift and then having like a quick FaceTime chat versus multiple emails trying to explain things.
Right.
You've kind of come up after us, where email was not the primary resource, right? So that's all we had at first.
Yeah.
So tell us your experience with coaching over the last couple of years.
So obviously, I learned coaching from you. You were pretty much my mentor on how to coach. And then after a few months of coaching myself, I always have been more of a listener.
Yeah.
Or like visual learner, more auditory learner. So I figured, I'm like, man, and one, I just didn't like typing. So what I started doing with my clients was just doing audio emails.
Excellent.
So every time they would send in their updates, what I would do, I would just send a complete update in audio tape, recorded audio tape, and then I started getting like awesome feedback from them, they were telling me that it just made them seem more personal.
Sure.
Like they could just get more out of it, like the motivation that I included in there. So something that I do with them is just kind of include like a little motivational like speech at the beginning of the clip, and then I'll go into their adjustments and stuff like that.
You know what I think is interesting about that is that not only doing audio and video make it more personal, like it's face-to-face interaction, but seeing them daily on social media, right? So it's like I see my client's life every day. This isn't like in the forums where I would see somebody maybe every other week and they would just drop a bomb about here's my numbers, here's what I did, here's how I felt, and a few pics that go with it. But I can not only see my updates, like however frequently, once a week, twice a week.
Absolutely.
And then I also see that oh, okay, I saw you went on a hike with your sons. I saw you and your husband did this, and I think paying attention to their social media,
I would agree with that.
has helped me get preloaded information,
Yep.
you know, before I don't even have to ask.
Makes it
them.
more personal, like you care genuinely about
Right,
it
right,
as a person.
right. And so it's like, did you ever actually personal train, like in a gym? Have you ever? Right. So it's like, I feel like I'm trying to get as close to personal training as possible with the online model.
Yes.
Right. So,
that relationship.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, how do you do with your social media? Do you do any like DM interaction or anything?
Yeah. So the way I personally do it, I just tell them to communicate however they like. Honestly, like I don't.
Can you keep up with that? Like, are you good at checking your Facebook messages?
You know what I have found really good for me is like Instagram direct messages. I do very good with those.
Same.
Facebook I don't do as well with. I feel like it's too kind of all over the place between my coaching page, my personal page. But with the Instagram DMs, I tend to only follow really my clients. So I kind of keep my feed pretty clean. You know, I have a lot of people that I follow. I don't follow a lot of the typical probably like fitness type celebrities.
Right.
I keep it pretty specific to the people I'm interested in, and the people I'm interested in are my clients.
So that's why I made a separate Facebook page aside from my Fitness IQ for Newbury Physiques, and that way I only follow like my clients, and they could essentially email me or direct message me through there. So that way, like I'm not getting 3,000 messages from just random people on Instagram. So that tends to...
Well, and one thing that we all do as well is we attend a lot of the events.
Absolutely.
We were all just at Nationals coaching.
Yep.
We all go to the bodybuilding events when they're, you know, someone that we are close to or going to be at. We go to the major events. I think that's one thing that as online coaching progresses, the better coaches are going to be known as the coaches that are there.
Coaches that
They're
are there.
coaches.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that something you guys look forward to doing, like attending events and being with your athletes?
Yeah, I think because we all grew up in sports, right? The real classical sports with coaches, with a coach who's invested in you every day. Like you said, I don't want to be an online coach. I just want to be a coach. And so I think the only thing we can do to inch towards being actual coaches is being there. And I think also too, like not only a part of being there, not only is it just being there in person, but being there in person and not just watching from a distance, right? So now this whole model of online coaching will now include sports psychology from actual coaching. From how do you treat so like I had a client this weekend, a few people who miss lifts, right? You can't just shy off and kind of do the online. Like when you're there, when they lose, you lose with them. And how do you deal with that emotional reaction in person? This isn't online.
I think a good coach will take that information and learn from it and think, what can I do better to better prepare myself? Because that hurts me when someone I see that's worked so hard doesn't get the result they want.
That's something I tell my clients all the time. I'm like, dude, your win is my win. Like I'm in this with you. Like sometimes it's even harder on us. Like damn. Like
How do you feel that? You ever feel like your job is threatened when somebody doesn't do as well?
Sometimes I'm like, shit.
Honestly, I think that's one thing about, I don't know, like my background in not being an online coach or not like having a real world job. I feel like my job is threatened every second of every day.
Absolutely.
And I think it's that kind of drive that keeps me wanting to, like, I watch what you guys do and I go, I don't want to be the guy that's coaching the way I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. I want to be the guy that's like, oh, there's a new thing, let's try that out. Because I see a lot of people get stuck in their old ways and not move forward, and they kind of get looked at like a dinosaur. Like, and with technology now, it happens fast.
Absolutely.
Because 10 years ago there was no smartphones. 3 years ago people weren't using FaceTime. It's like. It's instant. Like,
what's ironic is like we're not capping out, but we're capping out on the saturation of interaction in technology, so much so that I think there will be a point in 2 years that every coach will be able to do the same thing, whether it be video, social media, and it's like now the leg up again will be, are you actually there in person?
So you have a master's degree in business, correct?
Right.
I have a master's degree in business. One of the things I learned in my program was we're all providing the same services. It's how you provide that service that sets you apart. Every company is going to be able to sell the same thing and provide the same service. It's how you provide that service. And for a while, online coaching there was only a few people providing that service.
Absolutely.
Now it's starting to get to the point where it's how you provide that service that determines your success.
Yeah. And I think also too, what a lot of people don't want to talk about is to be a good coach, you should always feel like I need to be charging more, in my opinion. Right? I always feel like I go above and beyond But dude, think about the best teachers you've had, the best coaches you've had in your life, the best mentor. They always did more than their pay was. And I feel if you're trying to always operate at your level of pay in the coaching business, you'll never be I guess the word is, you'll never be at that level. You should always be feeling like you're going above and beyond, because that's the feeling I want.
It's so funny because like a couple of my clients are always like, man, I feel like you should be charging me more, but don't. And but don't. I'm like, nah, I won't, man. But that's just because, like you said, I go above and beyond. I just want them to essentially. I don't want them for 1 second to think like, damn, like this is not worth my money. Like I want them to think like, damn, like this is worth it. When they leave, I want them to be like, that was the best whatever I spend or I invested in myself in a while, you know?
Yeah.
You guys watch Gary Vee, right? Like one of my favorite things he always says is any relationship he's in, he wants to be the 51 to their 49.
To the 49.
He always wants to give a little bit more.
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more.
And I feel like if you're constantly doing that, you know, the reason you guys are here, it's not because I'm paying you thousands of dollars, you know, for my camp. It's because we spent time together and you want to be here to support me. And when you do something and you say, hey, Paul, guess what? I'll be there.
Right.
And that's the kind of, you know, relationship we build, not only with each other, but you know,
it's mutual reciprocity.
George was my client first. Now, you know, I see him every chance I can get.
How do you guys feel about entry now with a lot of people watching this who are like, oh, these guys are, you know, have a full book of clients, seasons, right? We're saying all these things, and this probably, it would sound intimidating if I were just getting in the game. Yeah. You know, so we got in through mentors, me and you, you did.
For sure.
What about the person who's out there in Nebraska who probably has great potential to be a coach? I mean, what do you say to them to get in the game and they got to compete with us, you know? Like,
I think I brought it up this morning. I think you have to work with someone that you admire, someone that you feel like is the best at what they do, because you're not only going to learn the skill through them, but you're going to learn associations, you're going to spend time with them. I still feel like that's the best model to get started.
It's like having a good coach is sort of like your internship.
It's like getting a degree in coaching, because there is no degree in online coaching or being a coach. Like,
you have to go through the experience yourself.
You have to go through it and learn it, and those are lessons that you then are able to pass down.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I think that'll be good for today's video, right? Like, so the death of online coaching. It's not that we think online coaching is going away. I just want to take away the stigma.
Absolutely.
It's coaching.
It's just
coaching. That's it. Mentorship, essentially.
Yep.
In a way.
Well, thank you guys. All right, guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow more from Tampa, because these guys are here for a few days. See you.